Greetings, everyone. This is me. I am Violation Cloth, also known as Joe. If you look on the SotA Con GoFundMe page, I'm using my name that you'll greet me by at SotA Con, which is Joe Tate. I think it's really important that I take the time to explain the vision behind SotA Con and what compelled me to have the event. So I want to start off with saying what I have as the first piece of information on the website is the mission statement. SotA Con's goal is to create a Shroud of the Avatar themed gathering on the East Coast so players and developers can come together, grow together, and share ideas. I want to be specific about this. It's important to me that I explain why I'm compelled, but I created this mission statement with an intent that fulfilled all the things that compelled me to get here. And I'm hoping that there are a lot of people that agree with me. I have been flattered with how many people have donated already, and I really appreciate that. I honestly didn't expect to get half of these donations until I made this video. I'm sorry that I'm pushing it out a little bit late. I expected to have it out earlier in the day, but I have been incredibly busy. And I don't usually wear a dress shirt, but we actually had family pictures today. And I had a down client this evening, so I ended up getting tied up with a lot of work and scheduling. But I felt like it was important before I turned in for the night to pass this message along and let you guys know what you get to look forward to and what I'm looking forward to. This is a convention that is solely focused on Shroud of the Avatar and its fans. There's a lot of different aspects about conventions. There's a lot of different things that people expect to get from a convention. Right now we have high-end backers that have the opportunity to do Baron roundtables and Duke gatherings and Lord of the Manor dinners. I believe they might already all be completed, but there might be another one, I'm not sure. I've already fulfilled mine, and I will have to say I fulfilled them with a lot of excitement, and I'll talk about that shortly. Those focus solely on Shroud of the Avatar. We also have these player gatherings. These player gatherings are something that the community has put together, and they've started going out to meals, and they've started going to other conventions. I've been really happy to be part of what we've been calling SotA Con, which is at Gen Con. We've been calling it SotA Con for 2 years now. This is going to be the third year that we're there. We do a player gathering where we're going to get together and have a meal and hang out and get to know each other over at Gen Con in Indiana. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's focusing on just the fans. So I wanted to find a way to really bring the two together. I want to have both the game focus and the fan focus, and have it all tie the different people that are important, the developers and the players, together. Why do I feel compelled to do this? Well, I want to start off with thanking a few people. First and foremost, Winfield. Winfield, if you guys don't know him, I would be shocked. He is not only famous, but he is humble. His humility is second to none that I know. And he is one of the most helpful people. His mind is perfect for events and coordinating. He can foresee potential issues and troubleshoot them. And over the last 6+ months that I have been talking to him about this event, he has helped me through troubleshooting potential issues before they ever came up. So for those who don't know, Winfield is going to be at this convention, and he's one of our VIPs. He's a supporter, but he has also recently named himself a coordinator. And I was so happy that he did that. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate how much he's done already and look forward to what he's going to do for all of us, for you guys and for me and for everybody. So next piece, I'm going to just mention Gray Fox, Unseen Dragon, Black Rogue, Eternal Knight, and Sean Silverfoot have all contacted me and said that they'd be willing to help with the event. And I want to say thank you to all of you. Also, developers, Starlong has had no less than a half dozen phone calls where he has talked through issues. And Matthew Barrick, the new community manager, has gone through 30 plus emails in the last month trying to get caught up on this stuff and hearing out what I'm doing and giving me suggestions, putting me together with people. He connected me with somebody that's put together conventions for the last 15 years so I could shoot some questions that I didn't feel like were getting answered and I didn't quite understand to somebody, and really get me pointed on the right path. That assistance is just, it's huge, and I'm very grateful. I appreciate that help. It's important that people realize that this isn't a one-person show. So the compelling factor, how did I get here? How did I get to starting this? How did I get to even talking to the people that have helped me? It actually started at E3. If you notice I'm not looking directly at the camera a lot, it's because I'm reading notes and I want to make sure I get all this information passed to you. But I actually got to meet Star and Richard for the first time in 2014 at the E3 Entertainment Expo. I was out visiting family in Vegas and heard that they were at E3, and they told me, come on over. Well, the catch is you can't get into E3 unless you're with a company that's doing the expo or your media, and I am neither. So as a backer of the game, they got me a badge to be part of Portalarium, and I actually worked their booth for the entire time. Well, the badge they gave me actually said Starlong on it. He had 2 badges, I guess, and I got one of them. And it led to some interesting stuff because I didn't want to be known as Starlong, so I actually covered my name up, but I didn't have anything to fully cover it up, and if you fully block out your tag, you're not allowed in and out of the con room, so they have to be able to see you. I've got this badge, and I'm working the booth with Star and Richard, and Finn Staber was actually there. Finn is an amazing role player. He's a guy that loves putting Easter eggs in the game, but I digress. And I start noticing some things happening. People are addressing me as Starlong. They're coming up, and as I walk around the convention room, and as people walk up to the booth to interact with the game, and I start talking to them, they start addressing me as Star. And they know Star. They know his name. They know his contributions to the gaming industry, but they don't know what he looks like. And they're seeing the first couple of letters on the name tag and the last couple of letters, the visible S and T and the visible L and G. I had the other letters all covered up, but they knew enough to know the name started with S and T and it ended with N and G. Oh, you're Starlong. And they started calling me Joe Star. And I would correct them. No, I just have his badge for a long story, but I'm not. I'm Joe. So I would correct him, and I would let him know that I was a backer for the game, and that I just was trying to show him stuff, and they would ask me if I was a developer, and I would describe the difference between backer and developer, and that essentially we're players that just gave money to them. We believe that they're going to make a great game, so we gave them money, and that's it. So it was really cool to kind of get a chance to explain crowdfunding and how it differs from investors versus backers. And it was cool to see people change the reaction when they realize they're not talking to a developer, they're talking to a player. I like to analyze things. And analyzing this, I feel that instantly people felt let down. You're not Star, you're Joe. And that is not what I wanted. I wanted Star. Joe is obviously less than Star. Why? Well, because I had this emotional expectation that just got unmet. And that emotional expectation was to have somebody I idolized and to have an interaction with them. And that didn't happen. So I actually started talking to Star about it, and while I was talking to him, somebody from the syndicate, SotA Con, that Star is like plugged into, walked up and greeted me as Starlong while I'm telling him about what's been happening. And I just started laughing, and the person looked at me kind of funny, and Star stepped in, and I'm Star, actually, don't worry about it. And he knew exactly who the person was, and I just kind of walked away and tried to not interrupt the conversation and apologized to him later for laughing. And he said not to worry about it. And I started talking to him more, and while I was talking to him, I got into people watching, and I saw people come up and interact with Richard who they idolize. And it's this affair of a person that they don't know, but they've built up to be something. And it doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter who they are. It matters who that person thinks they are. And what they want to fulfill is meeting this person that is an icon that they've looked up to. That is an accolade. And as people go, a lot of people have accolades in their life, bucket lists, things that they want to do, and sometimes it's to meet people that have had influences on them. So this mission statement comes with the fact that I've analyzed people want to meet the guy that's making this game. It's more than one guy. So they want to meet kind of this group, and we need people to represent that group. Fast forward, Duke Gathering. 2015 and November of 2015, and we are looking into the Duke's table where you get to go and tour Portalarium, and Dukes and Lord of the Manors can go to this. I believe you can go to one or two of them. This was the only one that I went to. I did try to go to a different one, but it ended up that that didn't work out because there's nobody else besides me. But anyway, so essentially, this Duke's Roundtable is a tour of the studio, a chance to meet the developers who are working on the game, watch them as they work, and ask questions and poll them about different things. And the number one thing I did was sit in a chair. I sat there and I sat behind one and only. And I tried to convince him to become the Dark Lord of Death, and I pestered Atos, Chris Spears, about seeing all of his spreadsheets and his plans for combat, and the way he was going to design permission systems, and how they layered in metadata with items, and all this coding. I was really interested in the coding side of things, and I actually missed out on part of the other conversations because of how much time I spent in there, and I was really excited that they let me do that. It was really tailored to something that was cool for me. Seeing how the game was made, to me, is something that a lot of conventions focus on, and it's something that fulfilled a desire for me, and it's something a lot of people don't ever get a chance to experience. To talk to the people that made the virtual world that they live in, and to really talk to them about how they decided to get to making it that way, or hear some of the struggles about why they ended where they were, some of the things that worked better than expected. It's really cool to hear that stuff. There's a lot of personalities that like that type of relationship that breaks the mystery, the unknown. It's also kind of cool to know this team is not caught off guard by much. I realized at that tour, Chris already knew about a lot of balancing issues that we've had over this year, last year. He already knew about some of the combat needs that we'd have this month at that gathering. He talked to me about them then, and I've seen him talk about them in Hangouts, and I see them come up on forums. He's aware of that stuff. So it doesn't just fulfill an excitement factor, it also gives me buy-in of knowing, hey, these guys actually know what they're talking about and know what they're doing. So a lot of people really question, why are you so naive and blind when things are so broken? Well, it's because I've actually seen they're not as broken as they appear sometimes. A lot of times it feels that way because of how much changes so frequently and so fast with these micro 1 month releases. But in the grand plan, things are actually progressing really well. And as a player, I'm excited because I see these goals that the developers put out, and I contacted them when I was a citizen pledge, and I said, there's no way you guys are going to release at the end of 2014. You guys need to push this back because all these goals you guys have and the speed that you're working, it's just not possible. And they said, yeah, we realize that, but we consider release to be something different than most people do. We consider it when we have a complete story and we don't have to wipe the game. Okay, well, if that's released, then I guess maybe you'll make it in 2015. Here we are in 2016, and we're hoping to make it by the end of the year, but no wipe is coming up. That's one of the steps. The story, it's maybe by the end of the year. I don't know. I digress. I am really excited because the next part. This part is huge about what compelled me to do this specific thing. So at E3 and at the Duke Gathering, we experienced a performance taking from a once-in-a-lifetime experience and locking that into emotional memory. What we didn't get is the ability to build lasting, lifelong relationships. The other people that were there, I barely was able to interact with. I watched them, and I tried to learn as much as I could to try to get information from the people that I thought, hey, I might be a good friend with this person if I reach out to them. And I'll tell you, I'm really excited. I reached out to Duke Gregor. I talked to him on Facebook, and he's one of the first people that I invited to the con. I was really bummed out when he said he wasn't going to make it. I was really hoping he'd be able to come and sell his silver Lord British silver serpent pendants and be a vendor there. But that's something that didn't really get facilitated. That's something that didn't really happen, the connection to players. So this next thing, it happened right after that Duke Gathering. It's the Hobloth. I'll say that this event just floored me. I was so impressed to what Joseph did that I'm hoping I'll be able to go to Hob 4 if it's possible. I wasn't able to go to this year's Hobloth because, hey, my babysitter went. My mother is the one that watched our kids for over half the time that we went to Hob 2. So if you haven't attended the Hobloth, I highly suggest, as an Ultima or Shroud of the Avatar fan, I'm just going to say, why aren't you living? You're missing part of an experience if you haven't LARPed with the Keeper of the Hearth. He does a really good job at creating this atmosphere that people can go and have so much content that they're not bored, and have a structure that they're not lost, but yet have the freedom to develop relationships. It's really exciting. It's something that I looked at and I go, this is missing from these other places. So then we start moving into doing these player gatherings. And I really am like excited because I'm like, hey, this can be something that people can get into. But they're missing something. They're missing the interaction with the NPCs that were at the Hobloth. The NPCs were Blackthorn. They were Lord British. They were the people that people wanted to interact with for that I look up to this person. They're the icon. Okay? So what we have is this environment that I want to create for people that haven't been able to experience it. I want to be able to take this and put it on the East Coast because it hasn't happened yet on the East Coast. And then I want to take this framework of everything it took for me to get this put together. I want to bundle it up in a package, and I want to tell the people who come, this is how I did it. See if you can replicate it for yourself. So there's some scheduling stuff I want to go over. But I'm having a hard time with getting the schedule sorted out because a lot of this content is going to be made by you. I don't want to create a convention that nobody wants to go to. I want to create a convention that everybody's excited to go to. The goals are to have 4 different dev panels, and these dev panels are going to be unique. Instead of having a group of 2 to 5 guys sit at a table and tell everybody what's going on for an hour, and then have everybody rush like little rodents from one part of the maze to the other, I'm planning on having 2-hour panels. It's a long time. I know that it's a long time for people who have gone to conventions. You're probably going, he's nuts right off the get-go. But hear me out. A 2-hour panel, and the systems panels, there will be 2 of them. The systems panels that go over technology type stuff will have an hour of, let me explain this type of a thing to you, and we'll have some topics there. And then an hour of, as players, what we think that is, and what we like about it, what we want to see changed about it, what's working in the game, what isn't working in the game. It's a 2-way communication. It's a design to actually give this feedback. Remember that mission statement, that players and developers can come together and grow together. I think that the sharing of ideas, that sharing is what's going to get us to grow together. We're going to realize that we all want the same thing. We all want to experience an exciting and memorable weekend where we can enjoy others that are as passionate about this game as we are, and get and give with interactions of the people that made the game. So I look at these panels and I'm like, this is the draw. This is why people will want to come, but there needs to be a lot more content. So one of the things that I've picked up doing lately is gaming. And when I say that, it comes off kind of odd because, you know, I've been playing Nintendo and PC games and playing PlayStation and Xbox type stuff occasionally. I'm a big PC gamer for my entire life. I grew up around playing things like the Atari. I loved playing the Atari as a kid. And I think of gaming as this virtual stimulus. And something that was missing is the social aspect in a small environment. And that got fulfilled from board games. Board games, tabletop gaming, is something that I'm new to and I've been doing with my family and friends. And I've really enjoyed it. So I got permission last year from Richard that if I was to put on gatherings, I could make a remade version of another game. And I could use all of the Portalarium sourced content, the map for Novia that he drew up for the game, right, back in the 70s. For those of you who don't know that, Richard actually basically, this is working off of a map that he made like back in the 70s. So, but this content is essentially sourced around giving people the ability to hang out. So how do fans really create these relationships with each other, these lasting relationships? I got to give them something where they can talk with each other. So if I fill up the room with a whole bunch of computers of Shroud of the Avatar, people might have fun, but it's not going to be any different than if they were just sitting in their own room or office or wherever it may be that they game from. Instead, I would like to have a SotA-themed game that they can play. And I actually have 2 in mind, but I'm going to be redoing this board game to allow people to sit around a table, play a game, and socialize. With the permission of Portalarium, I'm planning on trying to give these games away as well. There's also some other cool stuff planned. One of the things we have in the plan is some buffer combat. We want to have a place where people can buy and shop. So we're trying to invite, and I'm still waiting to connect with Relics by Rild. I was really hoping to announce him today, but he has said that he will do his best to get there, but I don't have an ironclad confirmation from him yet. But I'm hoping that we will have Rild there as a primary merchant. Avatars Radio and NBNN both committed to me in private conversation that they would make sure they have someone there. Tortoise and Hare has said that they will try, but they're not sure. I've already told you that Duke Gregor will not be able to attend. Style from the Caverns has said that it's most likely too expensive. We were originally planning on having this event in West Virginia, but I polled all the vendors and I polled a group of people, and it ended up getting moved to Baltimore. We were originally planning on having it in October, but for the sake of one of the developers being able to make the event, we moved it to November. At this point, everything else is an open slate. When we do things and what we do, I really want your feedback. This is my goal. I want to create the environment for us to have a group of people come together, have a great time, make some friends that last a lifetime. Have it be something that is themed around a game that we all are going to love for decades. And have the people who made that game come and share the experience with us. The one thing I'm going to hold strong to that's not a negotiable is that the developers are going to be developers on Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, they're avatars like you and me. There will not be any panels of any sort on Sunday. Sunday is strictly going to be for us hanging out and having fun. Some of the things that have come up already have been the potential of doing a SCA type match. There are 3 different people who have contacted me about turning their rooms into taverns and serving alcohol and having people come and get drunk and have a merry time. Several families have said that they potentially will come. I'm excited because I have 4 kids. And the area that I've picked has a lot of attractions. The convention area is going to be reformed on Sunday to specifically be a draw for us to build relationships with each other. I'm telling everybody this in advance because if this doesn't sound like the day for you, you can skip it. If this sounds like a better day for you than the other days, then you can come for just this day. My goal for the convention is to be to crowdsource the entire thing, to give the people who donate to make the convention happen priority. But I also want to make it affordable. I don't want to put a huge price tag on it. The Duke Gathering took $5,000 to get to. They had to give us something for donating so much money to the game. And I understand that they couldn't take the time to bring 10,000 people through the office. But I think a convention is the perfect place where we can reverse that role. Instead of us all going to the office, we can make it affordable to bring a few of the devs out to us, let them keep working with the rest of the staff. And with the few people that come out, we can have a couple hundred people get that experience for pennies on the dollar. So my goal right now is to try to raise at least $50 a day. At the end of the time, by October 21st, I need to have a minimum of $5,000 raised. At $5,000, I will be able to have the convention rooms and the one already announced developer attend. The devs are not wanting to use any of the money from their budget to come out, because that would mean that they are picking specific developers to spend money, or specific backers to spend money on instead of the game and instead of the whole community. It's mismanagement of funds, and I totally understand it. So keep that in mind. The goal is to be able to have up to 300 attendees. I don't want to make this bigger than what we can handle for its first event. I'm shooting for around 100. I've had a lot of people tell me that 100 won't be enough, that more people are going to want to come. So my comment is, if you donate $60 or more, I'm going to have a badge. At 8 o'clock each morning, I'm going to hand these badges out on a list that you're going to register for. And all the registered people will get these badges. They get into the rooms first. After that, we'll fill up to capacity. If I do a head count before the convention, and I find out that we're only going to have 100 people there, but we have fully funded the event, I'm going to put out an open registration. and let people know we have another 200 heads of space available before these rooms are full. So that way you guys don't come and not have a chance to interact with other people. But that said, I want you to remember, the purpose of this thing is so players and developers can come together, grow together, and share ideas. I would not be offended or discouraged, and I would almost be excited to see that 1,000 people try to come and attend, and that other people put on other gatherings all around the area because this convention room just can't hold us. If we get the money, this thing is going to be huge in the future. The first year, all excess funds are going to go right back to Portalarium. I appreciate what they're doing with Shot of the Avatar. I appreciate that they have allowed us to give so much feedback. At times, some of us have given very harsh feedback. And they have taken it, and they have been kind, and they have been loving. And I think that as a thank you for them being willing to come out to the East Coast to allow us to have this in-person experience, I would like to be sure that everybody knows that every dollar spent will either go to this convention or right back into Portalarium. The future conventions that are held, I would like to see them support each other. I expect that this won't be the last one. I've already been contacted by several different people saying that they want to hold conventions like this as well. One on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and I just talked to another person this evening who said he's planning gatherings on East and West Coast, but he wants to do a convention in Austin. I think that's awesome. We actually have 3 different people now who are talking about doing an East Coast, a Central, and a West Coast convention. So we might have 3 of these each year, and it could end up covering the entire country. There have been some people, High Priestess of Chaos, who have mentioned wanting to see one of these in Canada. I have had several people since I announced this say they want to see one overseas. My suggestion is, if you want to see a convention happen, spend the time and make sure that you can coordinate it. Find people who will support you. Get a framework put together, a plan, a budget. Figure out that you can actually handle it. Take that plan and bring it to either SotA Con, which is going to be an organization that is not attached to any guild or individual player, or directly to Barrick. He's the community manager. SotA Con's goal, what I have with it, is that it will have a horizontal effect, and there will be several different people that are running different conventions. And it will be a brand that we can recognize and trust as a place that we can go to for a safe and enjoyable atmosphere that is themed around this game and gives us content where we can actually come together and build relationships. That said, some other things that we have on the schedule that could happen. Meals at the convention hotel, a LARP-themed, garb-requested dinner with the developers. May or may not be at the hotel. Currently, I'm thinking about having it in another location. Having combat tournaments, having book signing from the devs that are there. I just had a player from the community recommend Roper, Doc Holliday, many of you guys know him, recommend that maybe the devs could bring out some of our backer rewards. No idea if they can or not. I mentioned it, and they said, Barrick's response was, oh, that's cool, I wonder what that would entail. So, very early in the thought process, but it would be really cool if we could confirm with Portalarium somehow that we're going to be attending this convention, and then maybe we could get some of our items brought out so we could have them signed. I'm planning on doing photos for people. If I can get volunteers for any of these things or other things that you plan, I would appreciate it. I'm not a photographer. I'm going to bring a DSLR and I'm going to take pictures. I have... In one moment, I will show you. I have an actual DSLR camera with a semi-decent lens that I will be using to take those pictures. I'm not a photographer. I'm not going to take the best pictures in the world. This is a perfect example of where I could use a volunteer that could come in and say, hey, I could do this, and I'd love to do this. I'm not trying to be wasteful with the money that's given to me. I'm trying to facilitate this con as frugally as possible. Another thing that I could really use is people registering to stay at that con hotel. I've been pestering that hotel to give us the group code, and they said they will get it to me in the morning. So expect to see that Wednesday, June 29th in the morning, and when you see that, I would expect that you will have a $129 cost per night for a room. I have already confirmed with the hotel that we can have up to 4 people stay in a room, and that multiple people staying together will not be frowned upon. I've already confirmed with the hotel that alcohol in the rooms will not be frowned upon. I have also confirmed that there are some rooms that have pull-out couches. You can request those rooms if there's a 5th person staying with you. There's a lot of stuff that's unconfirmed, but I have already signed the contract with the hotel. I know we're going to be having it at that hotel, and I know the area has a ton of stuff going on. The rest of it's just up to us planning it. I have every minute of a 4-day window planned out right now. It's already changed about a half dozen times. Now that I've announced it, I'm hoping it changes even more. I'm hoping that some other people who really want to be part of this know that they're invited and welcome to be part of it. My information, info@sotacon.org. Info is going to send to anybody who runs a con. Right now, I'm just going to utilize that email. I'm going to say, for the latest information, follow our Twitter. The SotA_Con Twitter, I'm going to be sending out information updates on that daily as they come out. I'm going to try to do weekly updates with Facebook. And you can like the Facebook page if you'd like to. The Twitter and the Facebook are on the contact page of the website, sotacon.org. Let me know. On the official Shroud of the Avatar forums, there is a pinned SotA Con 2016 Baltimore. I wanted to clarify Baltimore because if somebody is crazy enough to try to throw a convention in 2016 that they haven't been planning for the last 6 months, good luck. It's got a lot of work that goes into it, and I really have been dreaming about this since last November, December area, and I really have been planning this since January, and there's a lot of hours that go into it. If you want to try that, I don't want you to feel like you can't have a SotA Con 2016. I'll do anything I can to help people, but my bandwidth as a player and as a community member is pretty maxed out with this current convention. If we grow horizontal and I get a lot of people helping me, then I'll have more time to help other people get their stuff going sooner. If you have any questions, please reach out. I am more than happy to answer them. I'm excited to meet some of you guys that I haven't met before. I'm excited to re-meet some people that I already have. I'm grateful for all the people who have said they will help already. And I look forward into how great this is going to be made, and what a great time we're going to have together. So I know this has been a long update, and I know that I've taken a lot of time to ramble, but I want to make sure that you guys know where I am, what the goal of the convention is, how we arrived where we did as a group of people. I'm constantly reminding everybody of this mission. I want to bring people together, give them a specific theme, content, let them share ideas with each other, and build relationships. You know, this is my goal. You can make it into whatever you want. There are going to be some people who come strictly because they want to get a signature from Richard on their Ultima 6 game box, and they come, they get their signature, and they bail. And I get that. I don't know if the dev that they're going to want to meet is going to be in attendance. we have confirmed Star, and I can tell you right now that I will personally make sure that Star is able to attend at the current funding that I've been promised from people. So there have been some other people who have said that they're planning on donating over the next month that haven't donated yet. And once all those donations come through, we're going to be at a place to where we're going to have this happen. At this point, it's how much are we going to be able to do? I really don't want anybody to donate past what they can. I'm going to end with this statement. I am not charging tickets intentionally because I know some people in our community financially don't have money. They just are not at a place where they can afford to go to a convention, but they are out here and they're very passionate about this game. I've already been asked by other people if they donate, if they could put it in somebody else's name. Yeah, absolutely you can. More importantly, I am trying to make this affordable for everyone. There have been at least a half dozen donations from people who have blatantly said they are not going to attend. I expect to see more. I think our community is going to really embrace the idea of having these conventions. And I hope that the trust factor I'm giving people in all the dollars go to the convention or right back to Portalarium knows that the dollars won't be wasted. Nobody's going to pocket any money. There's a group of VIPs. There's going to be 10 VIP tickets for this first SotA Con. I've already shared some financial information with them. I'm going to be sharing 100% of every dollar spent with Barrick. He's the community manager. The coordinators are going to know where every dollar goes. I will be polling the VIPs before making financial decisions. One of them has already gone out to them. I've already asked them what they think about a financial situation that just got questioned to us. The dollars are important to me as a secondary but required part of this convention. To me, it's more important that people realize I want this to be affordable, so I'm trying to make this as cheap as possible. Theoretically, there will be somebody that probably gets in for free. That's okay. I really think that enough people are going to be satisfied with knowing that this convention happened from their donations and knowing that the extra dollars go right back to Portalarium, that it's going to be a success. I also want to go on record and say the money is going to go back to Portalarium outside of any backer account. There will not be a person selected. I've had a couple of people say you should randomly draw from the people in the crowd. Any excess funds are going to be a one-time donation directly to Portalarium for multiple reasons. The number one reason is because I'm running this all through a gaming company that I run that makes all of this invisible income for me. I'm taking all of this money in, I'm paying a processing fee on it, and then I'm spending all of that money out. If I do anything else, or if I hold on to it to another calendar year, I have to pay income taxes on it, and I don't want to. So 100% of this money is going to go away, so that way it's a zero sum on my taxes. Additionally, by doing that, there's nobody that could ever claim favoritism on anybody's part. The money will go invisibly outside of a person's account. It will not be attached to my account. It will not be attached to another coordinator's account. It will not go into a banking account for SotA Con. It will 100%, all excess funds will go back to them. And the con is planning on covering 100% of the developers' travel fees, not just their plane ticket and then they're on their own. We're going to be putting them up in the hotel. I'm going to be trying to make sure that we can feed them. We're going to be taking care of their plane. We're going to take care of their transport between the hotel and the airport. 100% of this is going to come out of the cons, our budget. That's something that is better for the entire community at large. So I hope that answered some questions. I hope that you guys are excited as I am. I'm sorry that I'm tired. I know that I probably don't look overly ecstatic right now, but I felt like it was important that people got this vision and this goal. I realize that this is a long video, so if you watch this in multiple different parts, don't feel like it's too late to respond. If you're watching this for the first time and it's a month after it was released and there's something you want to say, feel free. You can contact me on the forums. I've got a direct link to my forum profile on SotACon.org. I've got a link to the email, I've got a link to the Twitter, and I've got a link to the Facebook page on SotACon.org. Check out the website. I'm going to try to keep information there. We plan on having registration links go through the website. Currently, there's a Facebook event where I'm trying to get a head count of people that are interested in coming. If you want to help, please contact me. If you're planning something that somebody else is already planning, I'm taking this as a first come, first served basis. We're not going to have a lot of time with only 2 days of structured developer panels and 1 day of unstructured but content-filled player interaction time. Before and after the panels, there's going to be stuff going on, and every evening there's going to be stuff going on. But I realized that with 3 days, there's a lot more this community could want to do, and I'm kind of going to be taking this on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you have something you want to do, contact me sooner rather than later. If you're interested in coming, please go add yourself to that Facebook page or respond on the forums so we can try to get a head count. I want to make sure that I'm not egregiously wrong and that 1,000 people aren't looking at showing up at this event. I don't know if I could handle that size of an event. This is my first time putting on a convention of this size. So with that, have a great evening, have a great morning, have a great day, wherever you may be. This is going to be taking place in Baltimore. It's going to be happening... I will announce this information on this video. Here is an announcement. We don't have the booking code, so please do not book yet. We are required to fill 120 nights to get the contract deal that I have for the rooms, which we need to do for that to be affordable, to get the convention rooms. Okay, so the 120 nights I'm splitting up to 10 on Thursday, 50 on Friday, 50 on Saturday, and 10 on Sunday. That being said, those can flux around, and I can redo this contract to be more if I need to, but it's important to me that people realize it will actually hurt our budget if you book ahead of time and don't utilize the con. So please wait for the con code. That being said, we're going to be having it at the Baltimore Harbor Inn Holiday Inn, so the Inner Harbor Holiday Inn. It is a block and a half from the aquarium. It's 12.5 minutes from BWI, big airport that is incredibly inexpensive to fly to from almost any airport. It does international flights as well if somebody from overseas is watching and curious. So it's close to an airport. It's walking distance. It's a block and a half from over 8 different types of food. It's walking distance from a convention center. So in future years, if we want to utilize the same location and we want to have 2,000 people in attendance, we can do that. There's a huge convention center kitty-cornered on another block. So it's a block away, literally. There's transportation a block away. So location-wise, we're set. And after that, the schedule is being ironed out. I would like to show a big shout out and a thanks to Winfield and Eternal Night for both putting a lot of time into helping me with that. Winfield has rewritten a document to help it be easier to plan, and Eternal Night is actually helping me look at the things that are going on in the area so we can put together an agenda for people so they can coordinate if they want to do things together, going to the different locations. So again, lots of information here. Your feedback is welcomed, encouraged, appreciated. Your attendance is something I look forward to. Your gifts, the donations you've given, amazed me. I am absolutely astounded at how much we raised in the first couple of days. I am not at all worried that it has stopped. I've already had 3 or 4 people contact me and said, well, nobody gave anything in the last 24 hours. There's going to be entire weeks that I expect nobody gives $1. And I can tell you that there is, for the dollars that have come in on the first 48 hours and the projected income that I could expect to have, there's a good chance that we're going to hit the $15,000, and we're going to get all the developers that we want to have, and we're going to have a really cool time. That's going to include some giveaway stuff, you know. If you didn't get a chance to watch my other video, I've released a video announcing Starlong, and I've released a video showing off what the exclusive item is going to be for the first year. I don't have one of those on my desk right now, so I can't show it to you. They're actually sitting on that bookshelf right there on that shelf. Some of the other stuff that I've printed sits up there in the red. All of my prototype prints for miniatures I print in red. So you can see that shelf is like filled up with red miniatures, and that's why. Dice towers are sitting down here. A functional dice tower is here. I'm taking a moment to show you guys this stuff because the exclusive reward that comes for first year attendees is actually a 3D printed Chaos Star. You should check that video out if you haven't seen it. It's really cool. Star actually was wearing it. I found a picture of it. I found out 2 days before I recorded the video that he actually wore it, and it's a cool little trinket. So we look forward to seeing you there. Really excited about this, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an update next week about what's going on. I'm going to give you an update tomorrow with the booking code. So stay tuned for both of those, and have a great day, night, evening.